Welcome back to class, dear students. In this lesson, I am going to take you through and introduce you to JavaScript. It's been an interesting ride in this AI-enhanced Web3 front-end development course. So where you learn everything you need to enhance you from, even if you never coded before, to becoming a Web3 front-end developer. So you can develop front-end for dApp. So now we've learned about the foundation starting from HTML in the section 1 and section 2. We've also learned about CSS for Web3 front-end development. Then this is the third section, which you can see, and we'll be talking about JavaScript for Web3 front-end development. So I quickly want to introduce you to some of those things, and as you know, I'll just continue from where we stopped from. If you are watching just this lesson, you may get a bit confused in the sense of we may be picking up some project that is from the previous sections of the HTML and CSS. So please make sure you go back and check on that to, solve the confusion. If you have been following, there's nothing confusing. So now, what is JavaScript, which is the first thing we have here, is a powerful scripting language that enables you to create dynamically updated content, control multimedia, animate images, and much more. Now, arguably, a lot of people used to say it that HTML, CSS are not programming language. So if you look at it, right from time, the analogy I was using, it's like you are building a house. That's how it is when you are building a decentralized website or decentralized application, dApp or the web. Now, when you are building website in that form, the first thing that comes is not painting the house that you have not even structured, or it's just, if you come from part of the world that they use bricks, which is created from sand and mixture of cement and maybe stone to create bricks and then laid it on each other. Those are the first structure. Even if you are building it with wood, those are the first structure that must be done. It is after that structure is done, which is your HTML, then you move to painting, which now bring out the beauty of the bricks, the beauty of the wood, which is the CSS. Now, the JavaScript is the first initial programming language, because this is when you can actually manipulate things, include interactivity. People can, click on something and maybe the gate of the house open. People can, tap this and then this does that and things like that. So a lot of things that makes the house interactive with people using them. So that is what your JavaScript is like. And with this programming script, you need to understand JavaScript is indispensable. I can tell you now, though we also have things like Python, but the reality is that when you are talking about front end, for me, based on my experience, Python is not the best experience for you. It's more of usable to handle server side and AI things and things like that. But when you are dealing with purely just to build front end on top of a smart contract, your best bet is usually JavaScript, and much easier to work with because by default, the browser can interpret it and things like that. So that's why JavaScript is so essential. Now, let's look at interaction between JavaScript, CSS, and HTML. That's what I've explained to you, that HTML structure the content, CSS give it style, and then JavaScript add interactivity. So as usual, we still put some of these things into practical steps, but at least you need to have better understanding of them yet. So when we talk about JavaScript syntax basic, JavaScript syntax, every of these things, HTML have its own syntax, CSS have its, so also JavaScript have its. These are those things you will put together that the browser can interpret that, okay, this is what you are trying to say I should do, and do it. Maybe if somebody click on this button, do this. You understand? So it's majorly comprised of two things: statement and like function. So JavaScript has selector and declaration blocks. JavaScript has function and statement that form the building block of your code. Statement, instruction that perform action with variable, operator, values, expression. And function, a set of statements that perform a task or calculate a value. Let's see example. So you can see this function now. It's about greet. It says alert. Alert means you should show this information. Hello, DPU student. So if you put this code now in a JavaScript file, you'll be able to see it alert out for you. Now, okay, hello, DPU student, or whatever you put there. So this is like a statement inside a function. So that perform action with variable. Anytime you try to manipulate a variable, operator, or whatever, is referred to as a JavaScript statement. But a function is like a piece of code that help you to reuse your code. So like a set of statements that perform the task. So don't worry, like I said, you know our courses are not just like theory. So, but it's good you have a basic learning as a beginner getting into this. So similar to CSS that has type inline CSS, internal and external. We also have when we talk about JavaScript. So let's gradually try to move towards some practical, and let's get this up. We are using the live. So the last class we did was this CSS. So I just copy and paste it here, then rename it from CSS to JS. That's JavaScript. So, or you can decide to write it JavaScript live, whichever, but I just so you get used to the short JS. So that's it, and then let's open it. That folder contains DPU front end CSS. So we need to also rename this. I think I want to even make it like Web3, yeah. Front end JS. So JavaScript Web3 DApp or the web. It's getting pretty long, but let's go with that. So we know what we are working on. Then once we click here, this was the last stages we did, the HTML and the CSS. So we do some adjustments, but before we do that, let's get this open in our VS Code. Open in terminal. I do this and use the short code dot, that's this folder. So you can get it open for us in our VS Code. So let's try. Yes, we can trust this and we can move it and set it a bit. Cool, we have this now, and you can see we have the media. We've learned about all this before. Here now, there's something I want to talk about for you. Is usually when you have your HTML, that's like the entrance of your DApp or your D website, decentralized website, you should usually make it what we call index. So the advantage of index is that when you load your site, usually by default, most of the browser will look for the index, which represents like the home page. You understand? So that's why we recommend, even in your normal project, you can adjust it to index.html, as we will see at the end of all these JavaScript lessons. So now from here, we have this HTML, which we have done from previous lessons. I know you will be familiar. Then as usual, we have the CSS. We don't need to do anything with that. So all we need to do now is to create a file which we can call global script. I just want to call it because that's what we refer .js. So we are not going to use HTML, we are not going to use the CSS, but instead we use .js. That means just JavaScript. When you see a file like this, it depicts a JavaScript code. You understand? So maybe if this, let me see, we are in an AI enhanced. So as we do different coding, we also use a lot of this AI too. So if we say create a JavaScript function with greetings, hello DPU students. You see it now. That's the advantage of these AIs. You can see it. Literally, we got this out. Function, greeting, alert, hello DPU student. So we got this now, but it's not showing out. Though there are ways you can use like Node and things to read. But if you want to see it on the website itself, which we have this, we need to link it up. Remember when we created this and we linked it up with this same link for us. So we need to be able to link it as well together. So that's where we'll be able to learn about this that says inline JavaScript similar to inline CSS is used directly in HTML element using the onClick attribute, for example, and others. It's quick but less clean and maintainable. You know that one disadvantage of inline JavaScript is that one, it overrides every other JavaScript or CSS as we learned, like the external and all those things. But aside from that, it's very difficult to maintain if you are actually building a real life robust project. So it's not the best to use, as just like the CSS, the best will always be external. Maybe in rare cases, just a single page app, then maybe internal, but the best is always and professional is external. It makes it easier to manage as your project grows. So we have the example for the internal. You can see if I say on click, alert click button, if I copy this now and I go back here to our scripts, sorry, just here, let's launch this. Let's launch this again. So from here we'll go to the go live. That's the live server. Yeah, so we can have this fully launched. So we got this now. Let's move this a bit more here. Yeah. So we have this here now. Let's see. So once we launch, we can't see anything like that here. So if I just go here under the button, this inside this form, let me just put something like this and save. Do you see it? Click me. And when I click it, said clicked. Can you see that we are beginning to add interactivity to it? This is what we added. Said on click alert. So you will learn about some of these things, but like I told you, this is AI age. All you need is the basic syntax of whatever programming language you want to learn. This is no more age like, oh, I'm still a junior developer, I'm just a beginner, I can't build this. You can build it because you don't even need to build it. You just need to understand the language and then let AI do the work for you. So that's why a lot of these things, we are not going to be taking it because I won't be teaching you like the old age before AI. This is AI age. Just learn the basic of the language. Like you want to use a language now. If you don't understand A, B, C, the alphabet and all those things like that, you won't be able to understand the English I'm speaking. But once you do that, this AI tool, you can see what I did here, and the AI was able to create just precisely what I have here. For me, greeting, function greeting, alert, hello. You can see without me having to even just, this one is greeting and greet, and that one is greetings. Doesn't matter, but it literally gave me the same thing. That's the benefit of AI. So, and those AI too, we have talked about them previously, so you should have them now. So those are a lot of sample. I won't be on all these, but you can see internal as well, where you can run this internal JavaScript. You can see it in the head section, similar to the CSS. This is it, for example. It does, you say, change color, and then it targets this HTML. You understand? On click, it called this function. When you see this, it's a JavaScript function. You see this name and then a bracket like that. It's trying to activate. So one thing about JavaScript is that it's always like lying there and always needs something to trigger it. You know, it's like a button that's only work when you click it. So it can be there for forever doing nothing. But immediately it's clicked, it triggers whatever is inside. So that's the same thing you are seeing here, which you can place inside here, your scripts, like we've done with the CSS, which I've told you that is not also the best option. The best option is the external JavaScript, which you see code is stored in a separate JS file. So like I've done for you, and linked to an HTML document using the script tag. So this is how we'll link to its script tag and we'll be able to get it to work. Good for script specific to one page when you are doing the inner. And this also, you can place it at the top, but also aside, compared to CSS, you can also place it anywhere within the body, maybe at the bottom. Some people will say, okay, to load later or something like that, because most times when your page load, it usually want to load the JavaScript and load it from top down. So like maybe you want to delay the loading or something. So, but usually you just want to have it here. And since you are even having external, you just have the link from here to it actually. So let's see. So that's the example. You can see it. You have the external JavaScript, and then you have this HTML file that once that button is clicked, it changes the color. So if I quickly try this here, let's copy this, put it here. Where did we do that then? Let's see, can we see what? Let me copy the JavaScript. Just copy here. Then we have the JavaScript here. You see, so always remember to comment, and when you want to comment is 2/ like that could give you to change background color. You can imagine that the AI is able to know what comment I should put. You see, function, so I can just say function to change the background color of the page. You see it now. So let's go back, then let's save this, but before then let me put this up. Let me put this up side by side. So normally what this is the on click change color. It said when I click this button, it should call this JavaScript. And what this JavaScript does, it locates the document, which is your page, the body, then try to style that body. And what style is it trying to do? To give it a background color. And the background color should be this. So now let's give that in action. Let me save this now. You see, change background color. You see this is still working, clicked. But when I click this, nothing happened because the JavaScript is not linked. So that's why you should remember to link it up here. Let's give a link. Then in this case, do you see it now? That is already giving me link to external. That's why these AI tools are essential. We've talked about them. I think this one is Copilot, GitHub Copilot. So they help you there. So you can see that a lot of these things now, you don't actually need to cram them. You just need to go through courses like this that give you the intersection between your learning and the AI, which is the future that we are getting into. So which you won't need to code everything yourself. Look at what I'm doing now. It's just typing. So in this case, I will just change this over. Even if I save now, it won't work. And the reason be that is this one works because it's inline, but this is external, it's not connected. So this isn't the actual file. So let me clear this source up or search up, then slash global script. You see it? Then let's save it now. Cool. Let's click this. So what could be wrong? Let's try and say script, global script, follow it here. Then function, change color, cause this function. On click, change background color. So, but this isn't working, probably because of this worked. So these are part of the issues you can run into. Just good at least. So now things like this, you can just ask the AI, for example, like, let me see. So intentionally going through this, so you have the experience. This is a different age. Embrace the age. You don't need to. There are a lot of things that you just get with the AI. I have a button in the HTML file, not HTML. When clicked, is expected to change the background color by triggering. So these are part of what this age now is. Not just about the code, it's about prompt, how you can handle prompt, explain yourself to the AI to get everything you are doing. So by triggering the external JS function. Please. Clicked the color not changing. The background color. What I'm background suspecting is because of the CSS. So, but at least it's good to let you learn this. So let's see. Do I still even have this subscription? Seems I got alert that it was due or something. Don't think I've renewed it. So these things I've told you, the investment you pay to them. You can see it's able to let's see his own suggestion. Tagging your HTML is correctly pointing to your data. It should be scripts, global, and that's what we are linking to. So I'm coming, like I said before we read his part, let's try and delete this and save. So we don't have anything now. When we click here, JavaScript works. Do you see? You know, I told you, but it's good I let you go through this in case it's a complex something. That's why I try it even before we read it through. You see it now, that was the problem. And for you to see that this is working, if I clear this up and try to, it's suggested light blue. Let's click, it work, click, change it to light blue. You can see it. So once it's new, once you click, the background changes. That's the essence of JavaScript. Your ability to put life into your dApp, into the website, decentralized website or decentralized app, is what the power you get. So buckle up, we're going to learn a whole lot of things, and you know, with all this AI by our side, we'll get things done even much better. Let's reverse this back. Yeah, and quickly, we'll still need this, so let me leave it there. Let's just move. Let's say there might be error, your JavaScript code. You see, the CSS might be overriding the JavaScript that set the background color property. It will take over the inline style set by JavaScript. You can check this in your browser developer too. These are part of things we also use. So you can see it now that was correct. Like I said, that you said we should check like 3 things, but this was actually the problem because this style was just overriding it. Once we cut off the style, we were able to see that this was actually effective. So you've seen the difference between internal, inline, internal, and external JavaScript. So let's talk about the comment as well. You've seen it, which I always say is a good thing. It gives good info about your code and you already know what it is. So these are ways you can comment, and you have seen me use it there. And when you want to do multi-line, you use it this way. Now JavaScript specificity, like CSS, like CSS, JavaScript doesn't have specificity, but you know what that means in CSS. Look at what happened now. Like when they conflict, which one should take over? So that's why when you do CSS, you have inline, you have internal, you have external. The inline will always override both the internal and external, and the internal will always override the external. So the external CSS only work when the internal or inline CSS is not there. But that's not how JavaScript works. What JavaScript does is the last read line will override the one before. So JavaScript read, like I told you, like bottom down. So bottom up. So it will start reading here to here. So if I declare a function here and I will change it down here, then whatever is said here will be changed to what is said here is what will be displayed, because it's read from the top and the last line will always take over the previous one. So always keep that in mind. Then JavaScript events. So what are events? I said I want to take you through a lot of basic things of JavaScript which you will come across. JavaScript events are action that can be dictated by your script. So they allow you to execute code when events occur, such as on click. So event is like something that trigger something to work. So you say, okay, when the sun is hot, you understand? when the sun is hot, turn on this AC at so degree. But when it's down, turn it off. You understand? And there's cold. Then turn on the heat at so degree. So that light, heat, and cold is an event that activates something. So it's the same thing when you have that. It activates. That's why you see that when we have all these things just lying down, they did nothing. But because we said on click, that when we click it, on click, then do what? Alert. Alert will be a pop-up. That's why if I do here, click everywhere, nothing will happen. Until I click this specific spot which has the button, then you see it click. It comes up with whatever I have put here. Clicked me. Go back, you see, clicked me. So that's what event. That's part of it you are seeing in action. Then JavaScript engines parse, compile, and execute script, optimizing them at each step. Modern JavaScript is designed to be safe, preventing low-level access to memory or CPU, which is essential for browser security. So names of JavaScript engine and the environment. Like I said, JavaScript is one of the default programming language that your browser can run. It doesn't need any external thing to help it, because most JavaScript, most popular browser come with JavaScript engine default into them, which help them to read. So that's why it's a very widely used something. Even if you want to learn Python, you want to learn other things, I will always encourage you to learn and make sure you get solid on JavaScript, especially if you are looking at dealing with front end or dApp development, where usually majority of your work are not. In fact, when you look at a dApp, most times, yeah, it is superb, the aspect of the smart contract, but I tell you most time it might just carry about 25% of the whole thing. Even every function in that smart contract, for it to be usable for the users, which will be the essence of building the smart contract in the first place, will depend on the front end you build on it, which will usually be handled by JavaScript. It might not be vanilla JavaScript that we are learning now. It might be in form of other ones you will learn, like framework, like React, Next.js, Svelte Kit, and more like that, Vue, and more. So, but it all begins with JavaScript. That's why it's good. I take it step by step for you. Now, you can see that JavaScript engine are programs that interpret and execute JavaScript code. Different browser and environment use different JavaScript engine. So, which means that's why you can see me running this JavaScript literally in the browser without need for any super interpreter. Unlike your smart contract now, you can't take Solidity, write it and get it execute on the browser. No, you understand? So the same, like I think Python, yeah, also I think needs like interpreter, might have mixed things up, but a lot of languages need interpreter or compiler to be able to have them run in your browser or in an environment. But JavaScript have the engine, so it's just run right away. That's why you can click and things begin to work. So if not for the CSS, this will just work as well. So that's part of the advantage. And you see, for Google Chrome, it uses V8 engine. So the JavaScript engine inside Google Chrome, which is what I'm using now, and majority you'll be using for development, at least as of now. I don't know in the future, maybe when AI 2 browser take over. So, you know, it uses the V8 engine JavaScript, which makes it to be able to read. That's why you can see it. When I click, I don't need any compiler interpreter to do anything for me. Why Firefox uses what is called SpiderMonkey. So JavaScript can also be run outside of browser. using environment like Node.js. So that's why, remember, in the first intro to Web3 developer that we did before we even started it, that's why I make it compulsory, that you should not be able to access this course except you do that course, where you set up Web3 developer environment. One of those core things we set up was Node.js. So now you know the reason why we did that, because we'll be dealing with JavaScript in different form, either raw vanilla JavaScript or in different form like JavaScript packages and Node packages and things like that, or frameworks like React, Next.js and more. You will always need an environment to run them, since you are not running them like that directly in browser. So to do that, you will need this called Node.js. So that's why I believe you have it already. Understanding this engine is important, as they can affect how JavaScript code is executed and optimized. So once you are outside the browser, you need Node.js in your system, computer, to be able to run. So JavaScript version and compatibility. Over the years, JavaScript has evolved significantly with various versions introducing new features. To keep abreast of these developments is crucial for modern web development. So JavaScript standardized under what is called ECMAScript. So with new version introducing, so you can hear ECMAScript, ECMA 16 or things like that. So it's like a body that tries to regulate how JavaScript is being developed, or let's say oversee, let's not say regulate, oversee, to make sure it's standardized, to make sure my JavaScript is the same JavaScript for any other person all over the world. So you understand? So it makes composability and makes it easier to build tools and things like that. So our JavaScript, understanding this update is crucial for writing modern and efficient JavaScript tools. So which means for each levels, some become old, outdated, and then new things are introduced. So another thing we also want to learn is JavaScript debugging with console log and browser terminal. Since JavaScript has been built by default into browser, it also gives an advantage of ability to debug. So debug means you are trying to find a bug, an error in a programming language is called bug. So to find it is what is called debug. So you are trying to, crush the bug. So we call it debug. So one of those tools you can use when dealing with JavaScript is things like console log using debug. If you come or just open a blank browser, if you open this blank browser, you will see click, sure I'm using Chrome, and then come over to, you can see we have a spec, we have page source. Page source we usually give you see what the page is like built out of. Just like this, if I use it here, is pets. You can see, I can see how you can see that the HTML and everything like that. So that's what that does. But when you want to use terminal, you click here and then you do inspect. So when you do inspect, you locate console. You can see it. Indicator and its current response by returning true, but the message channel closed before response. So this helps you troubleshoot that there is a problem. So this is like what the AI was telling us then, that we should try and use the browser console. There might be error in JavaScript code that prevent the change color. So that's what we are having here. Like something is trying to run, but there's an error. If I reload here, you see. But now let's try and run the code. I'm coming. Yeah, let's shift it a bit. Click, no error. Let's click here. It's not showing, maybe it will pop up later. So it's just telling you that These are how these things can show up. And then we can also now say, okay, console log an error for us. You understand? Let's do create a console.log to test if the button, you see, is working. Good. Do you see? Click me. Then the second, let's see if it will do the second button. On click, console log. Let's see. You see, button clicked. Do you see what I'm saying now? So it can console log for me that, okay, this button was actually clicked. Just want to show you. So these are part of the ways if you get stuck, you are getting issues with JavaScript. Though in this AI age, I'm telling you a lot of things, but if you just want to flex your muscle at times, and at times the AI will point you to it like this one now, that, okay, go and check, is there an error in your console? If there is, can you send it to me? And literally with AI tool like ChatGPT, you can just screenshot this and send it to it, and then straight it will analyze and tell you the error. So that's another interesting thing about this AI. So I believe we have been able to learn a lot in this intro, and there are lots on other ones that is packed, but I believe this intro give you a very instant rundown of JavaScript, and by now you get a better grasp and get prepared for other aspects that you need to know, like variable, data type, function, scope, DOM manipulation, and things like that we'll go through together in this course fully. So like I told you, your AI tools are always your friend. They are able to 10x your development skill and productivity. So always embrace them, and that's why these courses are called AI enhanced. They are not clickbait to just throw AI there because AI is going viral. No, these are me showing you the future of development, the future of learning. So if you are still going to take courses today that doesn't have AI integrated, I'm telling you, you are far going behind. So that's why every of our courses henceforth you will likely be seeing AI enhanced. So this is not clickbait. It is, if you take the course, you will see it through how we integrate, we enhance ourselves as a developer with AI too. So you can see them, and you can see our capstone projects. That's the project we were using, which was this. You see it, that we have our this before. So after we have this JavaScript, you can see external JavaScript file for global script. So let's quickly copy this because we'll be working continuously using this. So we just try some of this. I think we can clean it up so that we have everything back as usual as it was before. Let me see. So we'll still maybe do something with this console, but for now, let's see. Yeah, so that we can see the console there. Then let's see this. You see all those things has been removed. Let's pull this and put it inside the JavaScript file. Yeah. So if you look at this now, it's saying event listener for the mint button. Before, you remember, if we click the mint button, let me return this to what it was before. If we click this mint button, like literally nothing is happening here. You see it because we only just tie it. Remember the effect we gave it that's giving that amazing pop in, pop out event effect from CSS. So, but it does nothing. It does nothing. If we put anything here, there's nothing happening here. You understand? There's nothing happening here. Even if we do, he said at, if we put the correct thing, nothing happens because it's just a mere HTML button. So we need to make this active. So that is why this function is coming in, and you can see it here. Once I click it, look at what comes up here. This is it, token minting process initiated. So this button become active, and you can see, like I told you, you can always click like this and tell the AI to tell you what this button is doing. Format, rename, yeah, Copilot, explain this. So anytime you are confused, just tell it, you see, you send it on and then explain what it is. So it's AI age. I will always try my best to remind you that stop working like the old days. You understand? This is, though it's new, AI just took over just like less than a year ago. Yeah. But when you be watching, things might have been, but when I was doing this video, but I quickly, embrace AI because I am somebody that usually embrace new tech. Once I'm able to analyze, research, and see the benefits and probably some of the downward, and see that, okay, so it's nothing we can fight about. We just have to embrace it and make sure it's used for the good. That's it. So, but fighting it is your biggest, you are your biggest enemy. So that's it. It started working. Let's see any other thing we have from the capstone projects. I don't think anything changed here. Alert, event listener. So this is just giving us an example of that same script. If I decide to run it as internal JavaScript, so I can place it at the bottom here, then just comment it out. You see what I'm saying now. Token minting process initiated internal JavaScript. So you see that previously, before I save this, let's try this again. You see, initiated. But the moment I come here and save this, should be able to override it. You see, token minting process initiated. Now it's still showing that. Let's see. Mint button, query mint button, JavaScript. Okay, I think with this, it was able to override it. Let's cap that off and let's try it again. Do you see it now? Oh, it's like it was actually running after it. That one was just able to, because remember that one, this thing runs from top down in JavaScript. So it was able to run this first, but it still run that. Let's confirm that. Save. And then literally you see it. Once I click OK, then that one is showing under it. Just trigger both at the same time. So, but surely we don't need this. We are okay with the external one. So we don't want to deal with that. So that's where we are able to fix this now. That's all. And if you use it at the top as well, the same function will work well. So you can try it yourself. So JavaScript is an essential programming language for creating dynamic and interactive web experience. By combining it with HTML and CSS, You can create rich, engaging user interfaces that respond to users' action and bring your web pages to life. So we've been able to see it. Like I always say, if any of the lessons you are okay with it, like you already knew it, you can always fast forward it. But better spend longer time explain for beginner, and they find it and they can come up to that level, because that's the focus of the Programming University. Taking no coder at all beginners, but interested in experiencing the opportunity, both financially and fulfilled career in Web3 development, should be able to start from scratch. So you can always keep it, but beginners should not be confused. So, and there are always resources like this. I encourage you to take time to read it. Don't forget, if you have any question, join the Discord for support on everything. Like you want to log in, you have issue on the programming, or meeting up with other DPU students, or announcing opportunity on the platform. But when it comes to each lessons in the course, I don't give support on the Discord. This is the reason why we have comment option. And don't ask questions that relate to this lesson under this lesson. It may not be approved or not responded to. So each lesson has its own specific comment under it, so that other students can learn. Don't take this question that should be posted here and go and post it under here. Specific question posted under the specific lesson they align with. So please, so that we can help each other and other students, then take time to read through some of the comments. You will see how helpful. You will be surprised some of the issues you are facing. Some students have faced it and has been helped, and the same solution may still be applicable to help you. So don't repeat the same question. You may not get answer. So I'm so strict with this, because if not, it wastes a lot of time. But if you have asked questions that have not been asked before and in line, then usually within like 72 hours, you will likely get answer from me. So usually most has been less than 24 hours actually. So, but at least maybe 72 hours. If you do it right, you'll get the support. That's it. I will see you. I remain Solomon Foske of the Programming University. Keep the program sweeter and alive. Your assurance to succeed in the long term as a developer. And please always do good to humanity and nature with any knowledge you have, including your web development skill, and not evil, to make the world and universe a better place for us all. That's it for this video and this lesson. Thank you, and see you in the next one. Bye.